everyone. Welcome to episode 83 of Our Darker Purpose. Are we going to get somewhere? Maybe. Let's check. Anyway, the game's been updated. A few new updates. Things that have been updated. Shoelaces. Shoelaces was updated. If anybody saw on the Steam forums, I have a few suggestions for the next update. One was about shoelaces. Give it some move speed. It makes sense. It's shoes. They did. 15%. They also saw fit with the suggestion I had for the Cauldron of Yesterdayers. This one was pretty easy. I thought it was a no-brainer. The Cauldron of Yesterdayers' second and third helpings are the only multi-bosses that do not give you experience. Every other boss who has 2 parts or more grants you experience from those parts. Second and third helping now also grant you experience for killing them, which will help in the long run when dealing with, the fortress or what have you for getting level ups. Also, it'll make it feel better. I mean, like, it was a chore to beat second helping and first helping, or first helping, and the Cauldron of Yesterdayers, and then you just get, for the Cauldron of Yesterdayers, it's kind of like you did twice as much battle for half the reward, right? So, or in hard mode, 3 times as much. Well, although that is hard, so, you know. Anyway, so that's that. The Fortress has had its defense reduced from a 50% damage reduction to only a 40% damage reduction. Though the damage reduction is not as high as, say, I would have thought. I was thinking 65. That was mine. But, you know, take what we can get. 60% damage reduction is pretty good. It allows the Fortress to still be more easily killed, whereas we're just sitting there and dealing with it, you know? Alright. Anyway, on this 83rd episode, I had decided that I was going to talk. I know, right? That's amazing. It's not like you haven't done that every other episode. No. I mean, I'm going to talk about things myself, more in general. You people have been with me for some time now, and I think it's time that we talked. Alright. Now, a lot of you will note that the things that I play, other than an MMO, okay, are very single player. Now, there is a reason for this. The reason is I'm very wary of multiple players, especially when I don't know who they are. This is really silly if you think about it in our day and age, but it's the way that I work. I'm very anxious about new people, to the point of the little kid cowering behind their parents' leg anxious. And it makes it really hard when I have to deal with them for things like, say, a job interview, or just going out to the store, anything like that. I can usually trick myself to doing stuff as long as there is a purpose to it. I can't just go outside, because going outside is just going outside. But if I have to, say, take the garbage out, then I'll be able to go outside. This is also very true for talking to people on the internet or anything. You'll know that whenever I'm on the MMOs, if I show them to you, I don't actually type anything ever. I will answer questions, like if somebody actually asks a question of me, but that's about it. I can't bring myself to actually just do small talk. I find it to be strange and weird. People who can do small talk, I envy you in a way. But I don't find it necessary to have it. Most of the chat that I ever do has to have a purpose. This chat that I am having right now, or what that I've had with you guys through this, is a experiment, okay? This is actually, the whole channel itself was actually created in order to help me with my anxieties. That's it. There was no other reason to create this channel. I'm glad that a bunch of you have actually, that I've got subscribers, and I've got over 2,500 views, I think. I find that incredible, because that's the other part of me. I'm an extreme pessimist. I will always expect the worst. Because, let's face it, the worst always shows up when you don't want it to. So, as long as I'm expecting it, maybe I can be ready for it. Of course, this doesn't change the fact that I'm happy when it doesn't happen. It's just I think that I'm more prepared for the worst than some people are. But this also is a problem. It goes along with my anxiety. Because I expect the worst, I expect it in everything, even people. I know that everyone in the world aren't those people who will go around and troll people for no good reason, or they aren't the people who will push you down the stairs or anything like that. I know that the world's not full of people like that. But it's full of enough of them that statistically, I'm probably better off just counting my blessings of if I ever meet a good person. Now, this is nothing against anyone in particular. I'm not naming names or anything, and it's not you if you think it's you, okay? This is just how my life has been. And it's the way that I think. It's not the most effective way of thinking, but it's the one I'm stuck with. And changing the way you think is a hard thing to do. The only thing harder is changing someone else's mind. Now we've got that out of the way, and you all know that I have this incredible social anxiety disorder, we can continue on with our playthrough. Okay. So you all notice I picked Pitch Black. Now the reason I did that is because I've got a lot of coins and I don't want to spend them all. And I'm hoping that this has some good things in it. You know, Sindar's Time Key was in the last one, and I don't know if I want it. But I have this great fear that it will just keep popping up. So I'm just going to take it anyway. Because I have this fear that it's going to pop up, and one of the times I'm going to kill a actual leader, and it's going to pop on, and I'm going to be like, oh, why didn't I buy it when I had the chance? Because then I could have gotten an item that was maybe a little more useful. Ooh. Alright, let's get out of this pitch black floor. What do we got? This is actually pretty easy for the pitch black floor. I mean, there's nothing will change. He already makes the room entirely dark. I mean, I don't know what I'm expecting. Ding, 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 ding. Alright. The candelabra is one of those bosses that you get really tired of really fast. almost the same as the cauldron. Now we're gonna go to a power struggle because I need more items. Yep. I'm hoping to get the ever-ringing bell because it's actually really a funny item. And I really like it. Especially when you have enough use items that it makes it, when you have certain use items, the ever-ringing bell has some of the funniest effects. Since all it does is make your use items work on a random timer. I think I've said it before, but my favorite on-use item with the ever-ringing bell is the emblem, because it just makes crows at random intervals. And sometimes that can really help your damage output. Anyway, I got Hound of Eraser Bills because I also have Count of Monte Choco. I'm hoping to get a lot of chalk. Whoop! Also, the damage is nice. Oh, what have I done lately? I bought One Way Heroics. It's a pretty fun game. It's just a bit short. And it does seem more like a game you would buy to just like waste a bit of time. But I really miss games where I can be like, well, I guess, are those just as a question of point, games where you spend, say, 8 hours going through storyline and whatnot, and fights and grinding and whatnot, RPGs today, do they still take that long? Because it seems like a lot of games in the world today are gearing towards a lot more what is it, casual play, I guess. No long overarching storyline with a incredible amount of time that you must put into it. Like, you don't play 2 hours a day and you'll be done at the end of the month. You know? I think the last game I played that did that, and don't think that it's going to be anything like really recent, because I haven't gotten anything really recent in a long time. At least that's not on the PC. But I think the last game that I had that had a huge overarching storyline and all this other kind of crap to go with it was Tales of Symphonia. And that took me a long time to beat. As a aside, I remember a friend of mine once who had Ark the Lad, who said that took him over, I think he said 200 hours to beat, because he went on and got everything he could, which is impressive, if not a little insane. So there's that, but I don't think games do that anymore. They don't seem to have long times devoted to them anymore. Even RPGs. Dang it, come on, you. Die, die, die. Maybe I'm wrong, though. There's a good likelihood I am, because since I haven't played anything really recent, I don't have any point of context. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what the most recent RPG I ever played was. Shit. I mean, other than, like I said, Tales. Something more recent.
Last Remnant?
I guess. Last Remnant's kind of weird. I think Last Remnant, as an RPG, it kind of falls, but as a strategy game, it's okay. The reason why I say that is because as an RPG, there's no progressive level up bar, and it's got that weird level up system, like how Final Fantasy II for the Game Boy had, where you level up, but maybe you might not get the stat boost that you want, and you'll get something else. And then also, it does have the progressive enemies, but the enemies, like, no matter how strong you get, the enemies will always have a way to just trump you out in almost no time. If they happen to get first strikes on you, if they happen to hit you with their spells, the enemy can just wallop you in one shot. Even when, like, you get to an insane amount of level, there's no time that the enemy is going to give you a break. So it reminds me of a strategy game more, but it's kind of an anti-game in a way, because if you take too long with the game, you're going to lose, but if you try to rush it, you're probably going to lose. It's like you have to do it just right. Good. Luckily, though, I haven't touched it in a while either, Last Remnant. And that's not that recent if you think about when it was released. It was, what, 2003? I think it said on the front thing?
8.
2008, really?
Almost positive, yeah.
Okay, so almost...
6.
Yeah, almost 6.5 to 7 years ago. On this day when Square decided, hey, here's this new thing. But yeah, so I don't really count Last Remnant. I'm trying to look over at things that I have over on the...
Dragon Nest.
That's MMO, but yeah, okay, I'll use Dragon Nest. Dragon Nest I like. You still will never see me talking to anybody, but I still like it. I feel really good about that MMO in a way, because it seems like you can do it kind of solo, at least to a point. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get to the point when I'm going to need help. I've already done Abyss Dungeons by myself to show my dedication to not talking to anybody. Ugh! You guys mind not throwing those? It's kind of annoying. There we go. I have to say though, there is, out of all the MMOs that I've ever played, okay? And I'm just gonna go through all of them, you know, like World of Warcraft, all that crap. And I have to say that the one that I have, and this is funny to think, stuck with the longest of any MMO is Pirates 101 and Wizard 101. Those two games I have actually played the most, I think, out of any MMO. And gone back to. Now, there are a couple reasons, and you're all going to think that I'm silly because of them, that I like those games. Alright? First thing is that I like how simple they are. I like the simple mechanics. Alright? The simplicity of just you have X number of things that you can do. So, like, here, 2 plus 2 is this. Alright? I like that. I like the fact that, unlike other big ones, you don't have to really subscribe to this game, as you can just buy parts of it at a time. That's what I do. I buy parts of the game at a time. I think I've bought half of Pirates, and I'm not really that much. Well, I'm in the 4th world in Wizard 101, so I'm pretty far in both games. And that's without a subscription. And the reason that I don't want it to be a subscription is because then if I were to have it as a subscription, there might be a time I get bored with it, I'll come back, and then all of a sudden I'll have to get a subscription again, and I won't have all my stuff. Because I won't be able to go to Area X or something like that, right? It's something that I'm sure that there's another way that players play that have done it, which is that they've played with one guy through a subscription, gotten all the way to the end, won, and then canceled their subscription because why would they want to beat it again? Which I can see that. But I like the thought that I can have a character, even like 2 years from now, start one up and say, well, I can get all the way to this place in this without having to pay any extra money. And I haven't been paying any extra money. I know that both have their ups and downs for that pay scale, but that's the way I do it. Alright. The second reason I like Wizard 101 and Pirates 101 is no stupid names. Now, this is just a pet peeve of mine. I really hate stupid names in games. I understand that after a while, it's hard to make proper names. Okay? Or even any strange names. But I do not really like the whole meme or internet names that they have. Like, I don't like seeing Peen111165 as a name, because really, that doesn't tell me anything except make me think you're a douche. You might not be, but my immediate thought is, oh my god, what's with this guy? And I'll admit that's a bit of a really biased thought, but it's what happens. Let's see. The same thing when I also think the same thing with when people make a name that's a sexual joke or a strange pun. Is it hurts me? Puns are okay. Puns are kind of okay though. I can get behind puns. Okay. See, I'm not all against you, but I can get behind puns because in my youth I've played games where people were named after puns, so I can understand it. But in But yeah, with Pirates and Wizard 101, you're not allowed to make your character's name except by combining three lines, and you don't even have to use all three, to create the name by using 3 segments of something, right? And I like that because it eliminates people being able to just be stupid. Sensitive. I didn't even see what the enemy was. I know I have the ability to know what the boss was, but I didn't care. Looking at it, I already know that it's either the Virtuoso or the Disciplined, and thinking about it, because this is sensitive floor and Capulets, I'm going to say that it is the Disciplined. Because why not? It feels like that's something he'd do, show up, like, just to bug me now. Today marked the day when the new episode for Arc V came out. Now, for those who don't know, Arc V is the newest season or series of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not, it is not dubbed. But that's okay because I really don't like dubs. I'll tell you why I don't like dub. And it's because when an actor dubs the voice, I don't know why, but some of them in recent years just don't seem like they care. Because they don't put as much effort into it. They don't emote, from what I've heard. And it sounds so... It's like, you there, now in this one you're supposed to yell. And it's like, yell, yeah. Oh. It's like, really? Really? Just, don't know. Dig deep down in yourself and do it, damn it. We don't care about the sound mixing. But throw some emotion in with your acting. Seriously. Voice acting is still acting. And it's a little harder because you have to, and it's a little harder in my thoughts, because you have to convey the emotion sometimes without any movement. You have to like feel what the character's feeling. And people don't do that. I don't like it. My worst experience with dubbing comes from, let's see, and I'm talking about dubbing as voice acting. I'm not talking about the Americanization of certain aspects because we don't get them, because they're so Japanese that it would be lost on us because it's so culture shocky. Like GX. We don't like the localization of GX. No, we don't. Everybody got turned into these weird, stereotypical school kids who... It was like watching a goddamn commercial all the time. And I know that Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself is already a big goddamn commercial for the game, but it felt bad. I can't watch the first episode dubbed. That's how bad it is. And the worst part is I can't find subs anywhere. And it really pains me. I was wondering what they were talking about for a second. I never saw that conversation. Maybe it's new. They were talking about something that was roaming around, and it sounded like at first they were talking about the friendly footstools, but the couch was like, no, not that thing. So I was kind of curious, and I hoped that the couch would elaborate, but he didn't. He said something about something having spikes for hands, and I don't know. I'm thinking of all the bosses, and I can't recall any boss with spikes for hands. Because even the one that I could think of, who it might mean, would be the Candelabra of Longing, and no, can't be him. Anyway, like I said, I have bad experiences with dubbing. Back to the point, case in point. I also have just, yeah, it's a disciplined. I have this really bad, oh great, through the wall still. Huh? Get back here. Is it Sindar's time key that made him do that, do you think? Do you think the reason he bugged is just because of the time key? I wouldn't put it past that to be the reason, because, you know, with the slowing down of time, all of a sudden everything looks weirder. Yeah, now I warped back to the middle. Dolly Sexton's really helping out because they're chasing him down almost in a weird fashion because of the random angles that they're bouncing. So that's actually really helping, especially with the fact that his room was so small. Underlit and wealthy. Well, wealthy. We've got coins and punishment. We'll take interest. This is a virtuoso because it's the only other thing that is in a tiny room. And so once again, we have Dowley Sextant to improve our range, because it doubles our range basically. And with Escher's Compass, the random shots, it doesn't really matter. They bounce. So random direction doesn't matter. Random shot doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters to us right now is how many of them hit. And our damage right now. Our damage needs to improve so it can take on more of this. I need more coin things. The Thorned Clover or a good coin is hard to find. Be nice coming in right now. Hoot! Trying to kill him before he swings again. There we go. Okay, so we know the Virtuoso's in there, and we know how we're going to beat him already. Cheaply. Aha! Good. Some dodging. Anyway, like I was saying, Arc V comes out every Sunday, and I make it a point to watch the Raws because I can understand them. Slightly. I can't understand, like, the way I understand them is I'll watch and look at the way that people are being expressive and what they're kind of saying, because I can kind of understand it. I took Japanese in high school. It was only 2 years, and I've never found a place to take it again, and I haven't got Rosetta Stone or anything in order to continue my education with it. But I know phrases, and I know what some words mean, and I know the way some words sound. I know how sentences are supposed to end and all that stuff. So I can discern a little of what they're speaking about. Not a lot, though. But I do know every single thing that happens in a duel because I know every single word they have to use and what it means. And like I said, I like the way that they are more expressive, I think, in Japanese with their... They emote more in their voice. I just haven't had any good dubs lately. Plus, what's the problem with reading? Huh? I know that some of the answer is that some people like listening to things while they do other things. That's some of the answer. I can understand. Because I do that daily with YouTube playlists and video game. I usually listen to a group of people do a playthrough while I am just hanging out and doing stuff. Because it's better than any TV I've ever had. Yeah. Let's see. Next, huh? Well, we got a lot of coins, haven't we? I mean, it's a wealthy floor, but we've gotten up to 38 from our abysmal amount of like 3 in the at the end of the last floor. Shoot, 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 shoot. Let's see. I don't really have any events planned coming up. I'm thinking of trying to get a Twitch sometime. But I have to look into how that works. I'm not up on how streaming works. But I might get it at some point in time. I'll let you all know. Just like how I let you all know that I have a Twitter. I haven't been on it that often, but I have it. It exists. And the little birdie goes tweet, tweet, tweet. Let's see. Let's check on the Virtuoso now. It's waited long enough. 42? Ah, close, 41. Hello, Virtuoso. I'm here to like stand right here in front of you. As we remember, the Virtuoso, if I stand right up next to it, like right here, I don't think I can get hit. Except by its music notes, you know? Look at that. And if I walk into it, I know it hurts. Oh, the flashes. I'm sorry for anybody who had to endure that and was like, ah, you asshole. Let's see. Yeah, Juice Box is darkness. As tempting as the health is, I'm okay on health. Mostly. 115, it's alright. I'm hoping that I can get like a Zen in the Art of Punishment later. Or a Red Badge of Courage and Hardiness. I can't remember if I already passed those. Oh shoot. Take advantage of me while I'm yawning, will you? Take that and that. Ah. Whee! Oh, I thought I killed them. I thought I dodged those ones. Oh, there's the Thorned Clover, so now they're making me get hurt, but they're giving me more damage. I need Great Expectations. Oh wait, that's Expectations and Juice Boxes. I do have that one. Not a good coin. I got good coin is hard to find. It's something. It's the one that makes me heal. Whose name I can't remember right now off the top of my head. Whee! Oh, you know what else I need? I need crit. I have a 37% chance to dodge while rolling. That's interesting. It's an interesting amount of dodge. The maximum that I could have with all the dodge items, I believe, is 52 plus ducking. These little brambles. Brambly, brambly, bramblies. Oh. Really? I went through that whole room just for you? It's a disappointment. Yeah. I see the brambles still have a smaller hitbox than you'd think. And as I was making fun of the brambles, I couldn't dodge the burrs that the roses were shooting at me. You ever get a burr stuck to you? It sucks. Because then you can't really like get it off. Uncle of mine used to live next to, or Uncle of mine lives, I guess, next to this lake, and he goes deer hunting out there, and there's a ton of burrs. One time he just had, his driveway was full of them, and I was like, oh god, I hate these things. I had a realization today that I will never understand, that I'm, or not that I'll never understand, but that I am so happy that I was able to find someone when I could, because if I had to look for someone nowadays, I would never be able to find somebody. Never, ever, 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 ever. Because you are all weird. You are all weird and strange to me. And I feel alien. This girl at work, I wasn't talking to her or doing anything. It was weird. And I'm just sitting there and I'm opening we've got these tubs that contain, I think they're like 5-gallon tubs full of pickles. Okay, single or sliced dills in their vinaigrette or their pickling juices. You know, since pickles are just cucumbers and certain juices, vinegar and whatnot. So I open it up and just out of nowhere she's like, "Ew, that's gross." And I was like, "What is?" And she's like, "The pickles." And I was like, "What's gross about pickles?" Because really, I don't know what's gross about pickles. And she starts going on and on, listing all the active ingredients and preservatives. And I'm just like, "You mean the stuff I don't care about? Okay. That's all well and good, but you know, I'm not to say that I don't, I'm trying to bash people for living healthfully, okay? I'm not saying that. I am saying, though, that there's a difference between living healthy and living the way you have to, because, let's face it, to live healthy costs like 3 times more than to just live. And I don't think I'm exaggerating that fact. Yeah, I'll pick up the lunchbox. So now the reason I picked up the lunchbox is because now my chalk is super, and my Van de Graaff device should be as well. And those are going to be my main weapons against Reagan. So her lunchbox, her own lunch will be her undoing. Let's go. I don't have the thunder yet. The thunder chalk is actually really useful against Dragon, because what its special is that every time it hits a projectile, it makes a little electric shock, like those things, and they flow out towards the enemy. And let's just say that Reagan fires enough projectiles to make that very useful. I wish my Symphony would fly faster. Waiting for it to get to Reagan was quite a bit. Point, double, brick pile, brick pile. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to check, because any of you who watched my last playthrough will know that I was done in by the brick pile, because it apparently reverted back to its old ways of getting up when it wasn't supposed to. So we're going to go to the brick pile, even though he's not the choice that I'd like to make. Alright? Hey, I get to also talk about what you're doing. I can backseat drive with the best of them. Alright, we're going to go straight at the brick pile because I just want to know if it's fixed or not. I don't know how long I'd last if I didn't, because here's Tesla tanks and all kinds of crap. Isn't it weird how long it takes for the, like how it looks like our good friend Liam, who we had our thing with and whatnot, once had a question about enemies having invincibility frames, and it's because of his item that he actually got in, which was the ghostly marble. That was his idea. And that's why every time I get the ghostly marble, I'm both like, and because I know it's his idea, and it was a good idea. I just don't like it as much as probably he does. It was a good idea, but it brought up a question he had about enemies having invincibility frames. And that's because when you attack at the enemies, sometimes they would not take any damage. You know? If you think about it, that Tesla tank I killed, the leader one, was hit by chalk 3 times in the amount of time it took for the chalk to disappear. Not fixed! Not fixed! Not fixed! No, siree, not fixed. Oh god. Oh god, he's after me. Die, you little globules. I will not let you get back to wherever he was. Okay, now he's back up. For real. He's not fixed. He's not fixed. I thought that it might have been something to do with, Okay, so I'm under the impression that the reason that he keeps getting up is because of something that I'm doing. Okay? At first, I thought it was I was doing too much damage because we were on a sensitive floor, and I had the Hand of the Bloodfather, so I was like, I'm doing way too much damage. So it's just, you know, not registering, right? That's what I thought. Not true. Nah, my new theory is that I'm hitting him at some point in time. You know, he doesn't take any damage after a little bit, so that he can fall down into the pieces that he becomes. So he can Lego like that. And I'm thinking that I'm actually accidentally hitting him, which is causing him to not stay in his downed state. Okay? I don't know if any of this is making any sense, but I think that it's activating him and making it so that he gets back up. He's done getting up and down, though. He's not yo-yo anymore. But he's definitely still has problems staying down. Let's go to the next floor. Underlit Terrace, Winged Overseer. We're just going to start cruising through things. I think I've said it before a lot of times when I'm playing Ardarker, and that is that one thing that Ardarker Purpose does is it's really grueling. And what I mean by that is, well, I guess grueling's not the word. Taxing. Okay? Because Ardarker Purpose actually takes quite a bit of concentration, and it's not that short. It's actually pretty extravagantly long. There are times when you'll find yourself in this weird... where you'll find yourself in this weird state of, I've been playing too long, you know? There's a... What is the old thing it used to be? It was, if you play an hour of game, you must get up and not look at the screen for 30 minutes, I believe. Okay? And Ardarker Purpose, for me at least, always takes at least an hour. To deal with. So the game itself is pretty taxing. It demands a lot of you. I thought I was past that guy. I'm sometimes weirded out by whether his wings can hit you or whether they can't. I was really wondering if the Van de Graaff device was going to hit him there. So yeah, after a bit, it's kind of like you feel how long you've been there, and you're just like, oh, gotta keep going. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Like I said, new upgrade on shoelaces. It now increases your speed by 15%, which means that you start the game with 230 move speed, which is pretty good. It's a little higher than you can get from almost any of the initial move speed pluses other than the Kite Runner kites. Or, Hasteland or Then There Was Run are the only ones that increase your speed more than that. So it's good for if you need that extra move speed. I still don't like move speed. I'm okay with it, but I just don't do move speed. Anyway, that's it for today. See you next time.